We have played so many zombie survival games, but never one from this side of the fence. This is Quarantine Zone, and it has become my latest addiction. What's up, you beautiful beasts, and welcome to the video. I may have mentioned before, but one of my weird loves when it comes to gaming is the strange world of simulator games. From Motel Simulator to Trading Card Shop Simulator to PC Builder Simulator, these titles all fit into this world of chill games that I like to play when it comes to relaxing or trying to refocus between things that I've got going on. I never knew I wanted this kind of sim game, but when it came up in my Steam store, it was a must buy. It is one of the most unique takes on the whole zombie outbreak game that I have ever seen, and in this video I'm going to explain why. But before I get into the infected meat of the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and maybe I'll let you pass the checkpoint. Again, this is not a sponsored video. I just found a game that I really enjoyed and wanted to nerd out over it. If you enjoyed games like Papers, Please, Not Tonight, or Contraband Police, which are all awesome games on their own, then Quarantine Zone is going to be a perfect addition to your Steam library. Like I said earlier, it's one of the most unique zombie outbreak games that I have ever played. It's nothing like the usual affair. I'm not randomly scavenging from some dumpster or building a shed in a random patch of the woods, and I'm not murdering some random player for his tin of beans. Instead, I'm running my own outbreak checkpoint at the start of the zombie apocalypse. You wave people through the chain link fence and subject them to all sorts of tests, such as checking their skin for bite marks, listening to their breathing, and even checking their reflexes, all to try and figure out if they're okay, infected, or just got the sniffles. As always, it's never quite as simple as it seems, with different issues giving you false readings or cuts and marks being hidden under dirt, blood, and who knows what else. Additionally, you'll be given the odd curveball to look out for, such as cultists trying to smuggle infected meat past the checkpoint, or psychopaths trying to carve up other survivors. To make life a lot easier though, you've got an array of tools to help out. Tools like a portable x-ray to see if the infection has spread into their organs, a thermometer to check for fever, or a scanner to see through people's clothes, which in hindsight is perhaps a little bit creepy, although I'm sure everybody who uses Grok will be more than comfortable with it. One of the things that keeps me continuously engrossed with Quarantine Zone is the "oh shit, did I get it right" feeling. Much like the other games that I mentioned earlier, Papers, Please, Not Tonight, etc., every person you look over is a little bit of a puzzle. You get this sudden heart palpitation as you wave them through, hoping that you made the right decision and you don't wake up in the morning having all your survivors killed by that one infected you accidentally let through. You're suddenly worrying, did I miss some scratches? Did I check their breathing right? Did I note down the correct things? Because it feels so random, I never found a pattern that I just fell into, but I did get into a routine. As soon as someone would walk through, I'd check their bags, then I'd check their pulse, then I'd check their temperature, then I'd check if they were breathing correctly, and so on and so forth. And I got into this rhythm and it felt really satisfying. You genuinely have to pay attention. You have to meet a quota at the end of every week, and if you fuck that up, you get a negative check mark against you, you lose money, and then you can't continue, and everything falls apart step by step. Of course, there are some options that you can choose that do make life a little bit easier. As you play the game, you'll earn two currencies. You got your research points and your cash monies. This is where my addiction usually kicks in, because I love the numbers go up of a lot of video games, especially my sim game. It's like in Schedule 1 where you see your bank account get bigger and bigger. And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't necessarily call Schedule 1 a sim game, but it is pretty close. Either way, the whole numbers go up thing isn't a huge thing within Quarantine Zone. They're used to buy upgrades, some of which are awesome, and as I said, make your life easier, and others are kind of pointless, at least in my experience. With research points, you can upgrade equipment, most of which tend to be visual indicators to help with diagnosis, which are a huge help and a massive time saver. They're usually that extra bit of clarification which can solve some confusion when it comes to the tests, such as when listening to their breathing. Normally you just have to kind of listen to it, but when you get the upgrade, it will visually show whether their breathing is okay or completely fucked. The cash can be used to buy base upgrades, and this unfortunately leads me to my first issue with the game. When you accept people into your camp, you need to feed and keep them healthy, which means buying food or medkits. You'll also need to upgrade the number of beds you have for them, or perhaps you need to have a bigger quarantine section as such. It's all passive stuff that you rarely see having an actual impact, and it often feels like you have to upgrade for the sake of upgrading. You already have the objective of having to guess if people are infected correctly, and the addition of this background admin work just seems kind of odd. Back in the demo of this game, which I played a little while ago, they even had the busy work that you had to take a trolley out, gather your medkits, gather your food, and take it to specific parts of their camp, and that was so monotonous. Anyway, my point is, I wish it felt like the more I invested into the camp, the better that my camp got. One upgrade you can get is for a metal detector, which goes off if they've got metal in their bag. But when you click their bag, it just spreads everything out, and it's really easy to identify if they've got anything metal. It literally just takes seconds, and that pretty much makes the metal detector completely obsolete. What I think would have been better is to have more visual changes when it comes to the camp. Now, the upgrades do change things, but you never really look at it for longer than 30 seconds, so it doesn't really matter. But it would have been nice to have things like better lighting, better walls, bigger defenses, and so on. That being said, there are a couple of defense options included that do play in to another aspect of the game. Now and then, your base will be assaulted by zombies, and you get to take control of a drone to destroy them. Wielding things like a minigun or heavy artillery fire, it's pretty awesome and a complete change of pace at first, but nothing ever seems to change with it. It's the same little map section, the same weapons, even the same layout of explosive barrels. The zombies just get a bit more plentiful, or there's different variations. It would have been awesome if you could have invested money into the defense of your base, maybe even making it some sort of pseudo tower defense scenario. Or, and maybe I'm showing my age a little bit here, but does anyone recommend the Flash games called Last Stand? They were these random Flash games where you had to defeat waves of zombies and then got upgrades and traps and other survivors and weapons between each night. You can buy the entire triple pack of these Flash games on Steam now, and they're a great bit of nostalgia. It would have been cool to see that kind of thing implemented. Instead of taking control of a drone, you get positioned in a tower or on the wall, having to fire at the incoming zombies, throwing the player into the meat of the onslaught. But unfortunately, because you take this drone, you feel kind of disconnected from everything going on when they attack, and honestly it kind of reminds me of a dodgy mobile game advert. Another thing I did want to talk about is the visuals, but the more I thought about it while I was writing this script, the more my opinion kind of changed on it. Quarantine Zone isn't going to blow minds in terms of how it looks. If anything, it almost looks like stock store assets, and I apologize to any artists who may have worked on this. Maybe it's the animations or something, but all the characters in this just seem weirdly familiar. But that being said, it's not a bad thing. What I'm trying to say is I think this game is a fantastic example of how you don't need mind-blowing fidelity when it comes to graphics to still make an enjoyable and fun game. I think certain circles of gaming have gotten way too lost in the reeds when it comes to graphic fidelity. You don't need it to make a compelling mechanic or enjoyable time when it comes to gaming. When it comes to Quarantine Zone, because it's so original, so unique, and so much fun, I can forgive a lot of its shortcomings in certain mechanics and visually, because it's just so damn fun to play. The only downside is that sometimes certain ailments like scratches on their skin mixed with certain skin colors can kind of blend in together, and it's really kind of weird. Another fun little addition is you can also tie your Twitch account to the game, so it means the survivors coming through will likely be chatters from your stream if you've got any. All in all, Quarantine Zone is dumb fun. It's a simulator game, which is an awesome twist on the genre of zombie survival. And considering we've covered that so much, my mind is blown that we're still still getting original concepts when it comes to that medium. I actually thought I was sick and tired of zombies, but this has been an absolutely great game to sink some time into between big releases, or to just cool down after going on a losing streak on Marvel Rivals, which is literally how I'm using it, and I know I'm not the only one. Have you played it? Am I full of shit? Are there other sim games that you would recommend me to feed my addiction? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to see me play games like this live, you can catch me 3 days a week on Twitch and YouTube. There's links for which in the description to this video. I hope you've enjoyed. Make sure to click the like and subscribe if you have, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ra.